This is Susan, and for the next half hour, I'll be reading from the Canton B. That's the May 14th issue on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. First, I'd like to read a Decoration Day ceremony to spotlight veterans' cemetery restoration efforts. This article is written by the editor, Chitra Selvara. Decoration Day will be observed from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. on Saturday, May 23rd at the City Cemetery, 501 Main Street, Tonawanda. The event will feature guest speakers sharing stories of local men who served in the military, along with gravestone repairs and cleaning demonstrations. The Niagara Falls U.S. Air Force Honor Guard will perform a rifle salute, the playing of taps, and a flag folding ceremony. Members of the Vietnam Veterans Group will also be in attendance. Decoration Day, established in 1868, is the original name for Memorial Day, created to honor Union soldiers who died in the Civil War by decorating their graves with flowers. Proclaimed by General John A. Logan on May 30th, it evolved into a national day of remembrance for all fallen American service members. Ron Snyder, chairman of the cemetery board, said, "We have 100 veterans buried here," that's in the city cemetery, including Purple Heart recipients. There are about 50 Civil War headstones. We have a nice concentration of veterans buried here, including the Mexican-American War, World War II, and World War I, and we are concentrating on restoring the veterans' headstones. It is important that they are repaired and aligned and not leaning over or tipping or sinking into the ground. After what they did for our country, their headstones shouldn't be in disarray. Next, we have Cardinal O'Hara students attend Youth Action event. 8 students from the St. Margaret Scholars at Cardinal O'Hara High School, along with Maria McGrath, Special Education Director of the St. Margaret Scholars Program, attended an all-day Youth Action Conference hosted by Niagara University at the Niagara Falls Convention Center on April 30th. Students in grades 6 through 12 were chosen by their schools to become their school and wants them to grow their leadership skills, McGrath said. In all, 350 students from 33 schools from across Western New York, Rochester, and New Jersey attended the conference. Organizers asked parents for permission to give a short pre- and post-survey to attending students to determine the students' views. The free event included lunch and breakfast sessions on restorative justice, mental health in teens, the impact of social conformity, CPR training, yoga, finding balance in stressful times, and navigating controversial topics. It was a super awesome event with students from schools from all over Western New York and a few schools from the Rochester area and New Jersey taking part, McGrath said. The O'Hara students who attended the conference are Sammy Morris, Chris Salvin, Kamari Whitehead, Bianca Wani, Mary Jane Miller, Julianne Vespa, Zaparia Smith, and Diet Burkestad. The Youth Action Conference meant so much to our students, McGrath said, a real learning experience. Next, we have a former tennis star to speak at O'Hare graduation. Pam Hemberger Propus, class of 73, will be the graduation speaker at Cardinal O'Hare High School on May 21st. Graduation ceremonies will start at 7 p.m. in the O'Hara Performing Arts Center. Recently, Propus was inducted into the O'Hara Athletic Hall of Fame for her life's commitment to tennis and women's role in the game. In 1970, Pam made history as the first female to compete in men's varsity Catholic League tennis match. She also became the first female to capture both singles and doubles victory in the league history. That same year, she made headlines as the first female to win a match in the men's all-Catholic tennis tournament, defeating her opponent 6-2, 6-0. Promise played singles and doubles for Cardinal O'Hara and helped lead the Hawks to a 5-1 record in '72. And as a senior, she was the #1 singles player for the Hawks. She dominated local competition, winning the Erie County Tennis Tournament in 1973, the Western New York Singles title in 1973, and the Western New York Net Crown Champion 21 and under in 1978. From 1973 to '74, Pam played for the Erie Community College men's tennis team, holding her own against tough competition, gaining valuable experience and showcasing her skills against rising tennis talent from across the country. In 1975, Propus left college to teach tennis at the Buffalo Tennis Center, the BTC, and to play professionally in the Futures circuit. Pam was forced to retire from the Futures circuit due to injuries she sustained over time. Leaving the professional ranks allowed me to devote more time to coach the game I love, she said. In 1977, she was named the tennis coach at her alma mater, becoming the first female to coach men's tennis in Monsignor Martin Athletic Association history. Pam was truly a pioneer in Western New York high school athletes in the 1970s. She broke up the boys' club in Monsignor Martin Association tennis by becoming the first woman to play men in regular season and all-Catholic competition. She played first singles in her tennis career at Cardinal O'Hare High School. She was known as much for her determined level of play as for her tennis ability, said David Luvering, alumni coordinator at Cardinal O'Hare High School. Pam and her husband Peter live in Georgia, and they have 2 children, Brittany and Tommy. Next, we have Ort honors Tara Full as a 2026 Woman of Distinction. New York State Senate inducted Senator Rob Ort nominee Tara Full into its 2026 Woman of Distinction class on Tuesday, May 5th. Full is an educator at Star Point Central School District, a fighter of breast cancer, and was recognized by the American Cancer Society as a 2025 Strider of the Year for her fundraising and advocacy efforts with Making Strides Against Breast Cancer of Buffalo. Each year, one outstanding woman from each Senate district is recognized for their contributions to their communities, and this year, Fole was Ort's nominee for the 67th Senate District. It is an honor and a privilege to nominate and induct such a dedicated, inspirational, and selfless woman to this esteemed program. Despite battling stage 4 breast cancer, Tara refuses to surrender and is instead out educating not only her students but women throughout the community on the importance of how screening and early detection can save lives. Tara's dedication and adversary sets her apart, and I'm proud to highlight her remarkable achievements through this program, said Ort. Described by friends as a generous, loyal, fierce, brave, courageous, and a force to be reckoned with, Fole has been battling breast cancer since 2013, but she hasn't let it slow her down. Since 2021, she has raised more than $48,000 for the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer of Buffalo, earning the distinction of top individual fundraiser for 3 consecutive years. She has used her platform to promote and educate, inspire, and remind others that research, early detection, and community support is proven to save lives. In release from the American Cancer Society highlighting Fole's contributions, they said, even while undergoing weekly chemotherapy, Tara continues to advocate for others, share ACS resources, and ensure no one facing breast cancer feels alone. Tara Fole embodies what Making Strides is all about, and turning her story into action and inspiring hundreds of others to join the fight to end breast cancer as we know it for everyone. Fole's battle with cancer has been a long one, and although she did go into remission following surgery and treatment early on, it did return as stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. Despite the diagnosis, she is still a highly dedicated first-grade teacher at the Frianco Primary School in Starpoint Central School District, and her colleagues say that even if she has to be out for a day to receive chemotherapy or other treatments, she's back the next day giving 110% to her students. Throughout her battle with breast cancer, Fole's family and friends are the support network she has relied on. Her sister, Krista, played a major role in counseling her and taking her to many appointments and treatments. Fole grew up in Pendleton, graduating from Starpoint High School and going on to attend college at the University at Buffalo, then Niagara University. In her free time, she enjoys traveling with friends, listening to music, where her favorite quote, "No dress rehearsal, this is our life" by the Tragically Hip comes from, and watching the Buffalo Bills and getting lost in a good book. She lives in Lockport with her dog, Willa. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Kenton Bee on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Next, we have a bee editorial, Farmers Markets Stimulate Taste Buds and Economy. Consumers in Kenmore and the Tonawandas and surrounding neighborhoods will soon be able to take advantage of fresh produce and locally made fare and sample area favorites as the farmers market opens on June 21st in Kenmore. The North Tonawanda Farmers Market is open year-round. Patrons should take a moment to look around while at the markets, observing part of the local economy in motion. Amid the colorful booths and neighboring conversations in the exchange of dollars, creating tiny economic sparks. According to an impact study conducted by Civil Economics, locally owned retailers such as farmers markets return more than 3 times as much of their revenue to the local economy than do their corporate competitors. This means your farmers market purchases not only stock your pantry with fresh, healthy food, but recycle money throughout your community, boosting economic activity and job creation. As demand for locally sourced produce continues to grow, so does the number of farmers markets across the nation. More than 8,500 markets were on record as of 2015, and for good reason. Farmers markets preserve farmland and rural livelihoods, increase access to fresh food, and support healthier communities, all while giving a much-needed economic boost. According to the Farmers Market Coalition, economic impacts of farmers markets are seen on all levels. Nationally, growers selling locally create 13 full-time jobs per $1 million in revenue earned. Those that do not sell locally create 3. The U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates that local food sales from farmers markets, food hubs, farm stands, and farm to schools program have grown from about $5 billion in 2008 to $11.7 billion in 2014. A 2010 study by USDA's Economic Research Service compared producers selling salad mix, blueberries, milk, beef, and apples locally with producers of the same products selling to mainstream supply. And the study concluded that in all 5 cases, nearly all of the wage and proprietor income earned in the local markets chain is retained in the local community. Farms selling local food through direct-to-consumer marketing channels were more likely to remain in business than all farms not using direct-to-consumer marketing channels, according to the U.S. Census of Agricultural Data. When you visit the farmers markets in Kenmore or North Tonawanda, think about more than the items on your grocery list, and remember, not only are you stimulating your taste buds, but the economy too. Next, we have some interesting facts from out of the past. 20 years ago, May 14th, 2006, there are 5 registered sex offenders living in the town of Tonawanda, and Council member John Flynn is setting out to make it difficult for them to get to children. At Monday's town board meeting, Flynn proposed a new local law that would amend and modify the sex offenders' registration requirements in the town. I saw that communities like ours were doing it, creating sex offender registry laws, and I just thought we should have something like it too, Flynn said. Flynn, who is an attorney, drafted the new local law so that sex offenders under 18 years of age or older may not live within 1,500 feet of any school, playground, or daycare center, teen community center, or other teen facility, dance hall, skating rink, swimming pool, group family providers, or family child care providers. It is important to have those restrictions in the town and cover all bases, Flynn said. Flynn contracted neighboring towns such as Hamburg and Alden, and they have drafted local laws similar to the one he proposed. Numerous areas in the town fall under Flynn's proposed law. At the halfway mark of the season, Mount St. Mary's Thunder isn't quite where it should be, but that doesn't mean the team isn't as strong as last year's squad that won the Monsignor Martin Association Championship. Mount St. Mary's is 4-2 overall and a 2-1 mark in league play, but injuries and illness have kept several players out of the lineup in all 6 games so far. 9 years ago, May 10th, 2017, in the village of Kenmore, uniforms of a father and son are both inscribed with the title Chief. Since November 2012, Peter Brentnauer has been a familiar face as the chief of the Kenmore Police Department. Now his son is taking a similar lead. Peter D. Brentnauer was appointed chief of the Kenmore Volunteer Fire Department in April. I was very proud that Peter joined the fire department and he rose through the ranks and followed me, the police chief said, referring to his own service as a firefighter. The Brentnauers are the first father and son pair to have become chiefs within the fire department. It was a dream of mine to become the chief of the fire department when I first joined. I always enjoyed the department and wanted to be able to lead it, Peter D. Brentnauer said. And it couldn't have come at a better time for both of us to be the chief at the same time. It's something I never thought would happen, but it did, Peter J. Brentnauer says. He knew a couple of friends in the department and thought it would be a good way to get involved in the village. Molly Megan scored 11 goals in 3 games last week to reach an impressive milestone. The Mount St. Mary's lacrosse senior scored her 100th career goal Saturday, capping off an impressive 11-goal week. After scoring 5 goals in each of the first 2 games of the week, Megan was scoreless for much of Saturday's win over Sacred Heart. 5 years ago, that was on May 12th, 2021, State Senator Sean Ryan and State Assemblyman Bill Conrad have introduced legislation to the state level to allow any crematory or crematorium operations by a funeral home to be relocated pending the approval of local authorities, paving the way for relocation of Amagon Funeral Home's crematory operation on Sheridan Drive. According to the proposed law, crematory operations may be relocated provided they are moving to a site within the jurisdiction in which they were approved. Ryan said that the proposed legislation gives Amagon the right to relocate its crematory to another area in the town of Tonawanda while continuing operations on Sheridan Drive. He explained that Amagon cannot currently do this as per the state's anti-combination law, which does not allow owners of crematoriums combined with funeral homes to separate those functions and retain the ability to operate them elsewhere under the same roof. When the anti-combination law went into effect, Amagon's facility was grandfathered in and therefore allowed to operate, but moving would invalidate that. North Tonawanda boys volleyball coach Luke Hodgson went into the final week of regular season play, seeking to win both of its matches and finish the 2021 Fall Sports 2 campaign with a 9-3 record, and his squad came through to help the Lumberjacks earn a first-round home match for the Section 6 Division 2A playoffs. Getting those 2 wins last week was very big for us, Hodgson said. And now from Patrick Mang, the Village of Kenmore Mayor, saluting Eminger on his retirement and focusing on village growth plans. I want to start this article by wishing Town of Tonawanda Supervisor Joe Eminger a happy, healthy retirement from public service. We are so fortunate that the town and the village have such great working relations, and Joe was a key reason for that. Joe was always understanding that village residents are also town taxpayers, and that relationship meant that we needed to work together. He was always respectful and appreciative of Kenmore as an independent government, and he worked with us to achieve mutual goals. Thank you, Joe, for your leadership and service. Thank you to all the people who came to our public forum on April 28th at the Community Center. We've received a lot of great input, which will help our comprehensive plan committee to develop our 10-year forecast. If you were not able to attend the meeting, it was on Saturday's playoff game. After all, there are many ways to get involved. First, there's an online survey, which can be accessed through the village website at kenmore.gov. And there's also another public forum in a few months. And of course, you're also welcome to share your thoughts and comments by emailing our clerk treasurer at kjohnson@kenmore.gov. The comprehensive plan is also important to our village, and we will help to develop needed legislation and enable us to seek additional grant funding. And this plan will help us to look forward to the needs of our community for years to come. You can learn more about our comprehensive plan on our website, and your input is key to its success. So please take a few minutes to share your thoughts. The village offices will be closed on Memorial Day, and trash recycle collections will be delayed one day for the week of May 21st. Once again, thank you, Joe, and go Sabres. You've been listening to a reading of articles and features from the issue of Kenton Bee. We read from the Kenton Bee Saturdays at 1 p.m. Your reader has been Susan, and thank you for listening.
Good morning. Welcome to another broadcast day of the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, a private, not-for-profit organization. Radio Reading broadcasts daily readings of newspapers, magazines, and books to people throughout Western New York who are blind or have a print disability. Our phone number here is area code 716-821-5555. Our agency website is nfradioreading.org. And please, as always, stay with us. Our reading about full news is going to be coming up next. Our phone number is 716-821-5555 to reach out to us with those comments, suggestions, or questions. And as I mentioned, stay with us, Buffalo News, right now.
The following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision,